Christmas has always been the one day of the year when I believed family should set aside everything else, grudges, busyness, even distance to come together. But last year, I learned the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes, the very people you gave everything to can forget the meaning of family. I still remember the phone call as if it happened yesterday. I had just finished putting up my small Christmas tree. Each ornament held a memory: the paper angel my son Daniel made in kindergarten, the little wooden sled his father bought before he passed, the glass bauble I bought the year my grandson was born. The tree wasn't perfect, but it was filled with love. I picked up the phone and called Daniel, excited to ask what time I should come over on Christmas Day. I already had gifts wrapped for the kids: hand-knitted scarves, books, and a few toys. My greatest joy was imagining their little faces light up when they opened them. But when Daniel answered, his tone was flat. "Mom," he said, "we weren't really expecting you this year. Claire and I want to have a quiet Christmas with just us and the kids." For a moment, I thought I hadn't heard right. "Not expecting me?" I asked, trying to laugh it off. "Daniel, it's Christmas. Of course I'll be there." There was silence. Then he sighed. "Mom, you don't understand. Claire thinks it's time we made our own traditions. It's nothing personal, but maybe you can come another time." Nothing personal. Those two words pierced me deeper than any insult. I had raised that boy alone after his father passed. I had worked 2 jobs to put food on the table, to make sure he went to college, to help him buy his first home. And now, on the holiday that meant the most to me, I was being told I wasn't welcome. I hung up the phone quietly. My hands trembled as I set it down. That night, I sat alone by my tree, the twinkling lights blurring through my tears. I'll admit anger simmered in me for days, not the kind of anger that explodes, but the kind that sits deep in your chest like a stone. I had been paying their mortgage for nearly a year, after Daniel confided that money was tight. Every month, I quietly transferred the payment so their family wouldn't struggle. I never told anyone, not even my closest friends. I did it because that's what mothers do. They sacrifice in silence. But sitting there, shut out of their Christmas, I realized something. My son had begun to take my love for granted. He had grown so comfortable, so entitled, that he thought he could push me aside like an old ornament he no longer needed. That was when I decided, this Christmas, I would teach him a lesson he would never forget. On Christmas Eve, I called the bank. I spoke calmly, clearly. "I won't be making the mortgage payment for Daniel Harper anymore," I said. "Please remove my authorization from the account." The woman on the line confirmed my request. I hung up the phone, my heart pounding, a mix of guilt and determination. That night, as I sat alone, I thought about my husband. He had always told me, "Don't let love blind you to respect. Without respect, love dies." For years, I had confused enabling with loving. Now, I finally understood the difference. A few weeks later, Daniel called me, this time in a panic. "Mom," he said, his voice frantic. "The bank called. They said the mortgage is overdue. Did you stop paying it?" "Yes, Daniel," I said softly. "I did. It was never my responsibility to pay it in the first place. I helped because I love you, but love doesn't mean you can treat me like I don't matter." He was silent for a long time. Then he muttered, "But what are we supposed to do?" I took a deep breath. "You're supposed to do what every adult does. Take care of your family, stand on your own 2 feet. I won't be shut out of your life and still carry your burdens. If you want me in your family, it has to be because you value me, not because of what I give you." I could hear his wife in the background, upset, whispering angrily, but I stayed firm. For once in my life, I put respect above sacrifice. The months that followed weren't easy. Daniel avoided me at first. Claire was furious. I saw less of my grandchildren than ever before, and it broke my heart, but I held my ground. I poured my love into my community, volunteering at church, baking for neighbors, knitting scarves for children at the shelter. Slowly, the loneliness that had once suffocated me began to lift. Then, in the spring, there was a knock at my door. It was Daniel, standing awkwardly with his hands shoved into his pockets. He looked thinner, older, weighed down by stress. Behind him, my grandchildren peeked shyly. "Mom," he said quietly, "I'm sorry." My throat tightened. He went on. "You were right. I let Claire's ideas get in the way. I forgot everything you've done for us. We almost lost the house, but I picked up extra shifts and we're making it work now. I just want you back in our lives. The kids miss you. I miss you." Tears welled in my eyes as my grandson rushed forward and hugged my legs. I knelt down, holding him tight, my heart aching with both sorrow and relief. I looked up at Daniel. "I don't care about the house, or the money, or the mortgage. I care about family. But Daniel, family isn't something you push aside. It's something you hold onto. That year, I didn't spend Christmas alone. Daniel and Claire invited me, not out of obligation, but because they finally understood what I had been trying to teach them all along. We sat around their table, laughter filling the house, the children tearing open presents, and for the first time in a long time, I felt peace. The lesson I taught my son wasn't about money, it was about respect, and respect, once lost, must be earned back with humility. So, if you're listening to this story and you've ever felt unwanted, overlooked, or taken for granted, remember this: love is not about what you can give. True love is about being valued for who you are. Sometimes the hardest lessons we teach are the ones that bring us closer in the end. And as I sit here now, watching my grandchildren play by the fire, I know one thing for certain. This was a Christmas none of us will ever forget.